Are you ready to take your organization to the next level and become a game changer in your industry? Then look no further. Welcome to Yokai Business Show, where we bring you the world's top business thought leaders to share their secrets to success, from leadership development to finance, marketing, self-development, human resource management, and much, much more. Our guests reveal the strategies, tactics, and mindsets that have made them so successful. So let's dive in and learn from the best in the business. Awesome. Hello, and welcome back to another very special episode with me, your host, Yokai Kajidori. I'm truly excited and very grateful at the same time for you to join me here today to listen to one of the greatest experts that we've had on the show to cover the rules of the road ahead. You know, who wants to know what to expect? Some of the things you're going to discover here are going to save you a lot of pain and headache and emotional trauma because you know what is coming. Somebody wants to say, if you want to know what's ahead, ask who is coming. If you want to know how to succeed in an area, look for somebody who has succeeded in the area, and you will find success. Again, success leaves clues. So today's topic, really in this area, we want to explore what are the rules of engagement? What are the rules of the road? What is it that you're supposed to be doing in order for you to succeed? And I know you're going to have a great time here. And if you can, I know you may be doing a lot of things, but if you can, find somewhere to write what you're going to discover. Dignify your discoveries. Put them in your journal. I always do. And when you do that, you're going to find one thing, one nugget. All you need really is one idea, one nugget that could change everything for your business. And you don't know when that one nugget comes in. It could be today, because my guest truly is outstanding. We vet our guests, as you know, and they have been doing this for a long time. Together with the team. I have to put that in there because nothing happens by one person. You have to have a team to succeed. There is this saying, I know I'm digressing here for a bit, but please indulge me for a second. There is a saying that is a self-made millionaire. Really, that statement tells me of their knowledge of becoming a millionaire, because nobody does that by themselves. They ought to have a team. Again, I digress. But, I wanted to just say that so that we can get started perfectly here. Awesome. Let's get started here. For those who haven't come across your work, could you tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of your background, your education, and experience in this area?
To be on the show with you today. Thank you for inviting me on. Great question. I started at university. I did electronic engineering, and I actually went in to do a technical job, but very soon realized that actually what I wanted to do was probably go into sales. In fact, I did go into sales, and I've been in sales now for 25 years. About 10 years ago, I actually started playing around with social media and getting involved in social media, and I found I was I just found it very easy. Then back in 2015, I was approached by Kogan Page to write a book on social selling, and my first book on social selling came out in 2016. Which is called Social Selling Techniques to Influence Buyers and Changemakers. It was the first ever book on social selling. And things have gone on from there. And, what we do as a business is that we help organizations create revenue, create leads, create meetings from the use of social media. It's not around spamming people, but it's our own methodology that we've built up. And that's really what my purpose is, and has been now for the last 7 years.
Clearly, you're not the new kid on the block, really. You've been at it for a long time. So we're grateful you are here. And thanks for this time together. Let's dive deep in right away. What is the number one rule that business owners need to follow in this area? While we're talking about what is the exact rule and what happens really when people break it, and what are the consequences of doing that.
A lot of people understand that the ways of doing sales and marketing in the past things have changed. We're now living in a digital first world. And, interruption marketing, which is cold calling, email marketing, and advertising, where you basically interrupt somebody and pitch, just doesn't work anymore. Or the results that you get from it are just too infinitesimally small that it just doesn't make any impact. And therefore, we know from the data that the modern buyer, the modern job hunter, the modern investor have moved into the digital world. If you think about it, we all work through our mobile phones. 1 minute we're feeding the cat, the next minute we pick up our phone and we're on LinkedIn or something like that, and we're in the digital world. And 60% of the world's population are now on social media, and they're now active on social media. So the average person spends 2 hours, 25 minutes every day in social media. We know that when people want to buy products and services, they're now actually using social media rather than search. So the whole world is changed to digital. So what can you do? Well, there's actually three things. The first is that you need a buyer-centric profile. The second thing is that you need a wide and varied network. So that's a digital network, digital territory. And the third thing you need is content. The reason why you need content is that we know that the modern buyer is looking for insight. They're looking for help. They're looking for somebody that's going to support them. They're looking for something that they didn't know. And that's what they're looking for. And the consequences of not doing those things is that you're totally invisible. You're totally invisible to the modern buyer. And probably 99% of organizations out there right now are in that situation, which is why they're so desperate for pipeline, because they're totally invisible.
Awesome. I've discovered that when you put things in context as consequences, or what happens when you break this through, people sort of sit up there because they want to see, because people are afraid of the pain that comes from it. Well, perhaps I'm speaking for myself here, but I know some few people that take notice when we talk of consequences. Okay, let's go on to the next one. What is the number two rule in this area, and what happens when people break this rule in terms perhaps of the pain over a prolonged period of time, or the short-term effect of not following this particular rule?
We know that the modern buyer is now on digital. The modern job hunter, the modern investor, we're all on digital. It's something that's just become natural to us, accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic. And if we're not doing that and we're still relying on analog methods like cold calling or spam email or going to events, the problem is that we just don't get enough pipeline. And our leaders are expecting, growth. They're not just expecting to turn over every year. And what we need to be doing is actually delivering that growth. And we have to deliver that growth within a digital first and a digital context. And so all I can do is make the suggestion that people understand the need to move to digital. The data is very, very clear. It's not my opinion. It's the data that shows that people are on digital, and they're getting a better response from this. And I can go into the detail of those figures if that's applicable.
That's awesome. Maybe we can add more on what they ought to be doing instead in the next rule that we are about to talk about right now. So what is the number three rule that business owners like me and Bill in the audience, and Mary as well? Mary is our new lady, our new profile in our audience. For those who don't know who Bill is and who Mary is, uh, we often profile our community, find who is listening and who is a part of the community, and that's where these names comes from. And again, if you're a business owner, you always want to know who you're doing business with and really be clear on that. It helps you to bring the right information for them and right products, right services for them, which serves everybody in that case. So let's go back to what we were talking about. What is the number three rule that business owners need to follow in this area as well?
Our social selling methodology. Now, I can only talk about our methodology. I don't know about anybody else's, but we've developed ours. It's a proprietary methodology. It's backed by the Institute of Sales Professionals. And the three things that we teach you is how to have a buyer-centric profile, so how to have a profile that looks interesting to the modern buyer or the modern job hunter. And, if you think about LinkedIn, it has, 940 million people. They're walking past your profile every day. And, what they'll be what they'll be walking along. If you think about it as a shop window, and they'll be going boring, 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 boring. Oh, that's interesting. And hopefully when they see that's interesting, that is your profile. The only way that they're going to do that is if you're in their network. And that's why you need to have a wide and varied network. LinkedIn allows you to connect to about 200 people a week, and you need to be doing that. And don't forget that whenever you connect to people, gives you an opportunity to have a conversation. And we clearly recommend that you don't connect to people in a spammy way. And we clearly don't recommend that you connect and pitch because that's spam, and that's not what our social selling methodology is about. The third thing is that you need to have content. So we know that we're online. Here's a great piece of content that you're creating. People are looking for this stuff. They're looking for insight. They're looking for things that can impact them. And what happens is that as soon as they see that, they will actually read. Hopefully, they will read it. So we've got a client, Namas Consulting. They're a 100 person Oracle Consulting. And for example, there was a buyer searching for their products and services on digital. They saw them. They saw the salesperson. The salesperson looked interesting rather than just another salesperson. The buyer walked towards that salesperson. There was then a discussion that went on between those two people, like it always has done. That turned into a $2.6 million deal. They've subsequently taken another $500,000 out of that business. So it's not like this is itsy bitsy stuff. People are doing multi-million dollar opportunities using social media. And if you do it right, then there's the opportunities. If you don't do it right, and either try and nickel and dime it or try and cut corners, you'll get it wrong, and therefore you don't get the rewards. That's the consequence. But these are the things that you need to do as a modern business, because that's the way that the modern digital buyer and the modern digital customer work.
Awesome. It sounds very simple, yet very powerful. Are there any other critical or important rules in this area that perhaps you want to highlight now so that you can start conversations later on in the community so that we can help people?
People follow these three rules of having the buyer-centric profile, a wide and varied network, and creating content. These are the fundamentals. And as I mentioned in the answer to the last question, people are walking past your profile every day. And if you look just like a salesperson, all buyers do when they see salespeople is, I don't believe a word you say. I don't trust you. I don't want to speak to you because you're going to try and sell me something I don't want, which is why we need to stand out and be an expert and be buyer-centric, write our profile so our buyers go, that's really interesting, and actually walk towards you. And this is the transformation that you can affect by getting people to walk towards you. Or if you're doing cold outreach, then you're more likely to get people actually accepting the connection. So, for example, in terms of cold outreach, we're now getting a 9% response rate for cold outreach. So that's where we're connecting to people and we're asking, in effect, for a call. Now, this is not connect and pitch. This is not spam. We're doing this in a conversational way. It's our own proprietary uh, method that we're using in terms of social selling, but we're getting a 9% response. Now, whenever you get that meeting, what you're looking for is a next action. And we're getting a 33.6% response to that next action. And this is exponential. You just cannot get those sorts of results with things like email marketing and spamming people or cold calling, because people are just not responsive to people being by interruption and pitching. And these are the things that social allows you to do. It allows you to have conversations because conversations create scale, and it allows you to do that at scale. And that's a fundamental difference from the legacy sales and marketing methods of the past.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Incredible. Is there anything else I've not asked you about this in this area that you would like to share with everybody? Again, these will be great conversation starters in the community, and we'll certainly love more of this so that we can keep helping people.
A cold outreach response of 9%. So that's 9 people in 100 are accepting to have a call. And of those, 33.6% are going through to a next action. This is a fundamental change. And this is how transformation takes place, where people stop hiding behind their desks and behind my email because we're being spammed all the time. And you're getting approached by people, or people that are wanting to have conversations with you. It's probably worth my explanation of what social selling is, or the definition of social selling for us is. It's using your presence and behavior on social media to build influence, make connections, grow relationships and trust, which lead to conversation and commercial interaction. At no point did I say it's about spamming people. It's not. It's about growing relationships and trust, which lead to conversation and commercial interaction, because conversations create sales. And that's fundamentally different from other people who are doing social selling out there, or people that are spamming you with email or cold calling you or whatever.
Outstanding. Thank you so much for a great interview. I appreciate what you've shared with us. This has been very, very insightful and very helpful indeed. Very great conversation starters for the community. I would love for people to connect with you and maybe follow you beyond this episode. What, if you can, could you tell us a little bit about your website or your social media handles so that it's easy for people to find you?
I'm Timothy, or Tim Hughes, on LinkedIn. Our website is dlaignite.com. Don't forget my third book, Social Selling Techniques to Influence Buyers and Changemakers, the second edition with the yellow cover, is available on Amazon worldwide. The book's been fully updated, came out in November 2022, fully up to date. So grab yourself a copy of Social Selling Techniques to Influence Buyers and Changemakers, second edition, on Amazon worldwide.
Thank you. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What a great show we've had today. And again, this is just the beginning of our conversation here, which will carry on in the community area. I would like to say thank you so much for being here and truly helping us as business owners thrive and become all that we can be in our time here on earth. I want to invite you, if you haven't already become part of the community, click the link below and complete that, or start your own account, and then we'll be able to help you. And once you get there, don't be an spectator, just participate. You'll find great information. In fact, we've got a lot of guests that we've had over the years will be participating in that, and all our future guests will be participating in that. So you want to be in the place where it's all happening. And I know our guests here will be able to answer further questions that you may have regarding that. Now, before I finish off here, I want to remind you of two things that we are doing. Number one, our training on how to start, scale, and monetize your podcast is all ready, and you can access that. You want to know what is working right now, it will shared in there. And the second training is carried out by my good friend, many of you know Trevor Stockwell, who is a leadership expert. And when you see him in the group, just reach out to him and say, hey, we need teams development days. We need support with our leadership. And he's going to help you right where you are. Now, any questions? Community. Any questions? Reach out to our guest directly. It's all fine. I'll leave you with these words, which I always do. Never to leave a place of discovering new concept, new idea, new way of doing things without scheduling when you're going to apply it. I say this because it's so true. If you is not scheduled, it is not going to happen, because life has a habit of taking over things. So I want to make sure we do that now. And also, when you're in the group, you want to find somebody that you can become accountable to, so that you will be able to follow through on the decisions, on the discoveries that you make in this episode. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, live well, live with passion. Know that the best is truly, truly yet to come. Goodbye for now. Thank you for tuning in to Yokai Business Show. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode and have gained valuable insight and inspiration from our amazing guest. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review to help us spread the word. Also, be sure to check out our Leadership Ultimate Success Mastermind program, which is designed to help you and leaders in our community to do great things and support each other along their leadership journey. Until next time, live well, live with passion, know that the best is truly yet to come.